Well, I'm here in my studio painting tonight, and first of all, I don't generally paint at night. The lighting is a little bit more difficult for me to see, although I do have a pretty good lighting system here in this space. But I like working on these panels, laying flat on the table rather than upright on my easel. And at night, this particular painting has a bit of a glare because I'm using some metallic paints. So the lighting I have puts a little bit of a sheen. I can't quite read it as accurately as I could in different lighting, but this is the time I have to paint today, and so here I am. I want to give you a glimpse into my life as an artist, my daily practices, where I am, what I'm doing. And I shared on social media a week or so ago that I've started doing a little bit more expressive, intuitive painting. I've recognized that when I'm painting representational art, I have an expectation of what I'm trying to create on the page, and it is a bit challenging. I can generate a lot of negative self-talk when what's on my canvas isn't what's in my head or what I'm looking at as far as an actual object. I do pretty well, and I can maneuver that well. But right now, in this season of my art, I'm using it more as a contemplative practice. I am choosing colors that feel good to me, speak to me, that I can relate to emotionally, that kind of spark my interest, and I think, oh, that's beautiful. I'm making marks, just whatever I feel like making. Some of this so far, I've done some smudging. I've dampened my paper towel, and I'll smudge it afterwards, just trying to create layers and layers. I worked on this last night, and I'll come back today and do a little bit more work, and I'm looking at it today, and I think it's really quite beautiful. It has some really beautiful depth and layers, and I get kind of nervous. Do I want to add to it? It's at a state that I think is kind of pretty, but I'm becoming willing to cover up 70% of it and not hold my artwork too precious, the moment too precious, but to continue to just enjoy exploring the experience. It's kind of like, if you're on a bike ride or a hike or a trip and you stop and have a delicious lunch, or you see a beautiful view and you want to stay forever, but you need to keep moving on. And that's how this art process feels to me, that this is beautiful. I've had fun getting here. I could just stay here, but I think it might be time to move on. And how far I go, I don't know. But I've laid out here my paints. These are the paint colors that are in this painting. Minus, I don't have all my metallics over here, but a little cadmium yellow, my really favorite hot pink. This is a crimson. It's hard to see. It probably looks black to you, but that is dioxazine purple. And this is a deep turquoise, a phthalo green, and this is bright aqua green, a little black, a little bit of white. And so I will boldly make a few marks on here. I don't know what of these colors I'm going to use tonight, but several people commented when I did my post about my Christmas, New Year's journey that they'd like to see my process. And so I now have some recording equipment that hopefully I can do a few demonstrations for you that will be enjoyable. I'm just going to see what these colors make. And Goodness gracious, I will just lay it on. Let me see, there was a place over here that was looking a little bit dull. Maybe I'll go right in here. Once again, the lighting on here for me is I'm at a bit of a handicap. So when I look at this in the morning, I might say, oh my gosh, that needs work. It's a little bit of a bright green. It's a little bit watered down. I sprayed a little bit too much water on my palette here. I'm using acrylic paints. And some of this, you might already paint and not be curious about these things, but I generally like to know when I'm watching artists. I have all kinds of questions. What color is that? How did you do that? Why did you do that? And so once again, this is very intuitive. Right now, that yellow feels a little bit strong to me, so I'm going to rub it down. I kind of like the idea of this yellow next to the violet underneath there. That's a complementary color. Rub a little bit more off. Some of that violet come through. Y'all, and really I don't know what I'm doing, and that's a good thing. A lot of life, we don't know quite what we're doing. We keep moving on, taking the next step, seeing where it takes us. And so I usually paint to music, but because I'm recording this, I know that my recording will get muted on social media. So I don't have music playing, but I will add music later in the production, in the editing of this. Golly, y'all, there's a lot of this that I just think is so pretty from this angle. I don't know how it's showing up on camera. It's just really, really pretty. Just the layers. And some of these paints are a little bit more translucent, such as the pink that I use. Both of these are translucent. They're not very opaque. And so other colors, it makes a little bit of a stain, and other colors will bleed through. You might be curious what I'm painting on. It is a cradled wood panel. This one is from Hobby Lobby. You can get them from all sorts of places and of varying qualities. This one is moderately priced. Dale has made panels. I like that streak. I'm going to leave that. Dale has made wood panels for me in different sizes, and I've asked him to build me some cradles to rest them in. I want it to be just kind of subtle, rubbing it just a little bit. I noticed that I tend to do a lot of squares, linear, block marks. I wish that I did more flowing, watery marks, but I'm not there yet. This is my favorite, the golden iridescent bronze. I love adding this in here, but once again, it puts such a glare on here on my light. I have to kind of be careful. Grab another brush. There. And y'all, I'm just learning all the time. I'm a lifelong learner, curious. What does this do? What does that do? This paint, I should show you. Right in here. I don't know if you can see it starting to form, but I don't know what it is in this paint, but it will make a beautiful little turquoise puddle. And so anyway, I put a little bit of that on there. That's a little bit heavier mark than I put on last night, but I kind of like just the little wash of the sheen over some of these colors. I'm going to dab this up. Can't wait. I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. Rub some of that on. Just to give it a little bit of an iridescence. think what I want to do is my gold brush. Make it a little something else. I've left some of these brushes. These are not expensive brushes, and I've left them in the water soaking a little bit too long, and they get a little bit loose. I need to tighten some of them up. This is another. These are more like stains, translucent paints. And I'm going to put that over that gold patch that I did last night. And see how it just kind of puts a stain over it. I love that layered effect. And so this is how, I don't know where this painting is going, what it's going to look like when I'm done. Sometimes I'm tempted to say it's done and I want to do a little bit more. So I have another. This antique bronze paint is on here too. It's got a little bit more of a coppery feel to it. I think I want to put that over that teal. I'm usually pretty good about just cleaning my brushes in between, especially when I'm painting a little bit more representational art, and I mix colors on my brush, but in this process I'm really blending the colors by layering them, layering paints. Is that a little bit less intense? So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. Hope you enjoyed this. I will be back with it again, and after a few more layers in a day or two, and I'll share with you my progress. Thanks.